Gotta give you guys some proper beard stroking. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, sorry. I gotta, entice the people in. Hello. I am John, your host for today. We are doing DCU Daily times MCU Weekly with, of course, a little bit of news and a little bit of quick hits. So we're gonna be talking about a whole bunch of stuff today. We're going to be talking about how the trailer for The Monkey dropped. We're going to be talking about David Lynch, and we're going to be talking about a little bit of Spider-Man, as well as tons of other topics in regards to the MCU, DCU, and just tons of other stuff. So why don't we just, get into it?
It doesn't seem to matter what I do. I'm always the number two.
All right, mister, I need to paint my abs on to get nominated. You don't see Robert Downey doing that.
You're kidding. You're kidding. I can't open the envelope without the...
Warner Brothers is heading back into the Matrix with a new movie in the works.
Wonder what other surprises are in store.
I want to be Bruce Wayne.
I like that. You're gonna love me.
There's the shot right there. That.
Okay, we don't need to see
Right there.
You look ridiculous.
Well, not no more, he don't.
What, dude? I can barely understand you. Your accent's insane.
Give me a hand up. Nope, I'm actually okay. Thank you very much. Oh, wow. Wow.
Oh my God, it's the news guys. And oh my God, look, it's Liz.
It's me. Hello. How is everyone?
No. It doesn't matter what they think. How are you doing today, Liz?
I'm just Ducky. I came here straight from my job, so if I yawn a lot later, don't take offense, gang. I've been up since 5.
But
hello.
Fine. Hello. Welcome everybody to the chat. We see Manos, we see Miraculous. Hello.
Caleb.
Oh, and Caleb. Honka honka.
Good day,
Hey,
Caleb.
buddy. Hello. But let's jump into the news. The first exciting bit of news today, well, at least for me, because I'm a horror nerd. Here we go. We have Osgood Perkins' first little tidbit since Longlegs, which was less than a year ago. We're getting a little bit more from him. He's giving us his 5th film, I believe. We are going to be getting a Stephen King adaptation produced by James Wan, and it seems like he's going to be going for a little bit more horror comedy than anything. It's from Neon, so that's definitely a good, they're one of the kind of up there with Bleecker Street and A24 in regards to those guys who produce great stuff.
Yeah.
So I know you're not a horror nerd like me.
No, but you know
I'm
what?
curious what you think.
I think I'm gonna see this. I really liked the trailer when I saw it for the first time a couple months back. I think I'm gonna check it out. I don't like gore, but I really like this cast, so I'm just gonna have to suck it up and see it, I think.
Yeah, I think this is definitely really exciting. It's a very, it's a short story. It's like 10 pages long, so he doesn't have, a ton to work with, but I've been anticipating this trailer and this movie for a while. And it's again not even like a year since Longlegs. We got that in like July, and we're getting this now. So well, not now, but like in a couple months. So it's just awesome. Like Osgood Perkins has become one of my favorite working directors, along with Mike Flanagan and Robert Eggers. I like Theo James, Tatiana Maslany when she's not playing She-Hulk. She's a great actress, and Elijah Wood's also great. So, I'm stoked for this. It's just like we got James Wan based on Stephen King. Perkins, let's go. Let's fucking go.
Well, so aside from Longlegs, what else has he done that I might have heard of?
He did Blackcoat's Daughter. That was his first movie. Then he did I Am the Pretty Thing That Lives in the House, which is one of, if not the most underrated horror film of the century, in my humble opinion, because it got so much hate for no reason, and was breathtakingly amazing. I was
Okay.
shocked with how great it was. And then he did Gretel and Hansel, which was unfortunately not that great. He tried to like be like Diet Eggers, but it like didn't work. It was like he's like, guys, I can do The Witch too, and it's like, buddy, no, you can't. I'm sorry. Like, it's a decent movie, but it's like you're just watching the movie. You're like, I could be watching The Witch right now. I mean,
Okay.
they're good performances. It's a very well made period piece. Got some good surrealist ideas, but it overall falls flat majorly. It's not as good as his 3 other films. So
Okay. Well, again, I'm looking forward to this one. I liked what I saw in the trailer, the gore side, but again, it's a great cast, so I think I'm going to check it out for sure.
I like how Theo James is really proving himself. He's like, I'm not just a pretty boy. I swear I can act.
Yeah.
So that's really nice. I will say his American accent's a little wonky though, but like here's
Yeah.
the thing. But the thing is, I
That's
like
alright.
it because it helps with the overall like tone with the movie. Like, it works. Like, I like
Okay.
how like he's definitely doing the thing that some actors do. Christopher Eccleston does this as well, where they over enunciate every single syllable. But as I said, it like works with the overall kind of weird surreal tone of the movie and
Yeah.
what it's going for.
Yeah.
So like, I don't mind it. I don't mind it. I like how he's like kind of doing it. Maybe it's a choice. Maybe it's like he's doing it intentionally. I don't know, but this is awesome. Love to see it. Love,
Cool.
I get, as you said, loving this cast. And look at there he is. Oh my god, he looks so much like his dad. It's fucking crazy. But yeah, he's definitely a talent to be reckoned with. I know pretty much all of his movies have been mixed. They're not for everyone, but I have
You
really
liked
liked. I loved Long Legs. That was my favorite movie of last year.
Great.
I absolutely adored that film.
That's awesome.
Caleb, damn monkeys, first outbreak and 28 days later. Now this, hey, you're forgetting like 3 monkey movies from last year. You got Monkey Man, which is not actually about monkeys, but it's in the title. You got Godzilla X Kong, and then you had Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Now we're getting more
Right.
monkeys. We
And
got
right at
Better
the tail
Man.
end
Now
of
we're getting
right,
this.
and right at the beginning of that was the Godzilla -1 time frame too. So just monkeys everywhere.
No, I don't
Not
know.
that
Godzilla
God,
-1
no,
didn't really have
Godzilla, no,
monkeys,
never
though.
mind. No, because you said Kong, and so never mind. Never mind, gang.
It's fine. You're good. It's
Never
okay.
mind. Been up since 5.
Whoever the studio executive is that said that they should keep their mouth shut and learn from the flat. What? I don't know what you're talking about, Antonio.
Yeah,
Hi,
I'm not
Antonio, though,
sure.
but I don't know what
Hi,
you're talking
Antonio.
about. But the next thing that we wanted to get into on a sort of a sadder note is unfortunately the great, legendary, amazing David Lynch has unfortunately passed away at the age of 78. I wanted to talk about it. I don't know, Liz, you said you're kind of not as much aware of his work
Yeah.
as
I'm aware of him. I'm aware of his work. I just have not really seen much of it.
right.
That's just not my wheelhouse. So I'm more comfortable letting you take over this one.
Yeah. I have seen a couple of his movies. I've seen Blue Velvet. That was good. I saw at Racerhead, which was amazing. And then I saw Lost Highway, which I think deserves another watch. But to be fair, most of David Lynch's movies need another watch to really get. I plan, although Caleb just mentioned it in the chat, I plan to watch The Elephant Man soon. That's the movie I really want to watch because that's, a favorite among many. And, that was kind of the most mainstream thing of his outside of probably Twin Peaks. Now I want to watch the entirety of Twin Peaks.
Yeah, I've been meaning to get into Twin Peaks. I've heard such good things.
It's just like it's not just like it's not just his movies. I think what really hurts is just like his personality and his vibe and the way he it's like, oh, this guy makes weird movies. Well, what is he like in real life? And you're like, that's exactly who I imagined, but like in the best possible way. Like he was not like weird for weird's sake. It's just like, oh, that's just who he was. And that's like really great. And he was wholesome, but he was like at the same time, like he was brutally honest. Like one of my favorite interviews with him, or like clips of interviews, was when he was talking about when George Lucas met with him to direct Return of the Jedi, and he was like describing these things to him, and David Lynch was like so not fucking into it. Ironically, he would go on to do Dune, which is what inspired Star Wars, but like it was just like him just talking about it. He was describing these things called Wookiees, and I was really starting to get a really bad migraine at this point. I just really wanted to get home. It's just like, George, this is your movie. I think you should direct it. He was like on the phone with his agent. He's like, I really don't want to fucking do this movie. The way he describes it is way funnier, but it's, that's just kind of the vibe he was and how he really was. And he was just like such an immense talent. And he was like definitely the type of guy that just, I don't know, he was just so weirdly lovable. Yeah, it just like his brutal honesty was great, especially in this like hive of like regurgitation of like the same shit over and over again. Like, someone like went on this long thing of like, okay, there's product placement, this thing about product placement, it's like getting more and more traction. And he takes like a couple seconds to get the question out, and he's like, David Lynch, what are your thoughts on that? And he's just like, bullshit. Next question.
Hey,
I just love that.
Sometimes less is more,
Yeah. And Bob's Big Boy, one of his favorite restaurants as well. But yeah, I mean, Blue Velvet was very good, and Lost Highway was definitely something, but Eraserhead is definitely great. I've wanted to see a ton of his movies. I just haven't had the time to. But it's just like he's a personality that will always be remembered. He's a legend. He will forever be a legend. He will leave behind a legacy of amazing films and shows and short films, and a personality that will never be forgotten. But this one, out of all the recent like celebrity deaths, I think out of all of them, this one has hurt the most in like a while. Maybe because it's like, I want to be a director. I've like been kind of inspired by like the way he like has done stuff in the past that I'm like, okay. And just the way he's like, I have my vision. I'm not going to stray from that vision, and you all could suck my dick if you don't fucking agree with me. So, David Lynch was just amazing at every facet of the word. But his family has said, remember, there's a big hole in the world now that he's no longer with us. But as he would say, keep your eye on the donut and not the hole. One of his, shining moments when he couldn't pay for trades, couldn't pay for ads in the trades. He had to be like, well, I can't pay for ads, but Laura Dern gave the best performance of all time in Inland Empire. So for your consideration. So he went on, Hollywood Boulevard with a cow and the placard for Laura Dern.
I love
and he's
it.
like, one of the all-time great actresses. She can play anything.
And it's true.
She's a legend. And Patricia Arquette had tons of kind things to say. The Lost Highway, that's the most recent one of his. I watched it a couple months ago. Definitely very intriguing film, but definitely needs another watch to really comprehend.
Okay.
But he, the ongoing light in Hollywood is now going to shine even less without him in it. But let's move on from the sadder things today. Well, I guess it's still kind of sad, but apparently Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse star says they still haven't been contacted to record lines. Thoughts on this as someone who's a Marvel head?
I mean, I'm kind of surprised because we know that they're like ready to start. We know that they've put stuff together, that the script is done. But they also haven't been told, like, you're not coming back. So I'm not sure what the holdup is exactly, but
Yeah, no way this movie is going to come out in 2027. I'm just going to say that.
yeah, I mean, if they haven't even started, recording anything, then no.
I mean, the whole
you know.
thing with like there was so much controversy, not just in regards to Shamik Moore, but like the animators are not getting paid. And now it seems like we're never gonna get this movie, which is like, congrats, you made a cliffhanger movie without an ending. All
That's
right,
the
what are we gonna
worst.
do now?
It's just
the
like movies are great. They're so good.
They're
so much-
great. But it's just like if you planned a fucking 2-part movie, you had to have this in the bag. Like you had to have like most like with, we're gonna be talking about this later, but like with James Cameron with doing all the Avatar sequels, he's been doing them, like he's recorded like 75% of our Avatar 4 at this point, and 3 hasn't
they're
even
almost
come out
wrapped
yet.
on that. Yeah.
So like what do you do? Why are you making like same with like Back to the Future parts 2 and 3? Those were shot back to back, and it's like those came out. It wasn't like, oh, we're gonna leave it on this cliffhanger ending. I'm back from the future, and then like, oh, we're not gonna get Back to the Future Part 3 until 2000. It's like, what are you doing? Why would you do that? Like Lord of the Rings, it's not like Peter Jackson did the first 2 movies, and nope, we're not getting Return of the King until 2020.
Caleb says we're gonna get Batman Part 3 before the next Spider-Verse. So.
Not before the next Spider-Verse, the next Spoderverse.
Yeah, Spoderverse.
Exactly, but but yeah, it's just like, you guys, what are you doing?
It's
like,
a bummer for me. I love these films.
It's a bummer for a lot of people. Like I'm stoked.
Yeah.
And we were promised like something amazing, and it's just like we're not. It's just I don't know.
It's a bummer. It's a bummer
because it's like they haven't renewed their contract. So I don't know. Like I feel like there's so much controversy. I think Sony doesn't want to do it. Maybe they're jealous that their animated movies are better than their shitty live action Spider-Man movies, but like I don't know.
I mean, money's money though, right? Like if you're making money, who cares what form? I don't understand it. I really don't.
I really don't.
Oh well.
But it's it's a blow, but it's it's something that you got to work with, I guess. I hope that we get it at least before the next decade. That would be nice. I just, as long as we get it before like 2030, that should be, okay.
Yeah.
But moving on, we're moving on to our next point, which is quick hits. We got to get that elevator music into here.
Pew, pew.
We have a lot of clips. Hang on. And there we go. Okay. So quick hits is something comic related.
Sorry.
Am I not coming in?
No, you're good now. You were a little funny though. Yeah,
okay.
You're good now.
First things first. Absolute Batman and Ultimate Spider-Man, the 2 most popular superheroes.
Cool.
They're the best-selling comics of 2024. Shock to no one. Thoughts?
Cool. Good for you guys.
Congrats. Maybe comic books aren't totally dead. They're dead. Anyway, the next thing is The Equalizer. Apparently, Titus Welliver and Juani Feliz to headline potential spinoff for CBS. I don't watch the Queen Latifah show. I only care about Denzel Washington, so I couldn't give less of a fuck even if I tried. Thoughts?
I have watched a couple episodes of the Queen Latifah show, but I didn't know it was still currently running, so good for them.
Neither did I. I thought it got canceled. Anyway, next thing we have, Greta Gerwig's Narnia film is officially releasing in theaters. It will have a 4-week exclusive theatrical run before releasing on Netflix around Christmas 2026. Not watching it because Greta Gerwig will undoubtedly ruin Chronicles of Narnia. Thoughts?
I'm gonna watch it, but I don't like that she said it's a completely new take. A very new take is the exact quote. Don't like that. Don't like that at all.
It's almost like getting the woman who recently did the feminist Wet Dream movie to do a movie that is heavily based in Christian theology isn't going to work. Wow, who would have thunk? Anyway, next thing.
Yay.
Apparently, Ben Stiller was asked about the Tom Cruise spin-off of Tropic Thunder. He said there have been interchanges about it over the years. Tom Cruise, one of my favorite human beings, one of our great movie stars of all time. It would be fun, but there is nothing in the works, but we have discussed it in the past. Haven't seen the movie, so don't really care, even though Lizz Grossman, for one, I've seen as a kind of funny character. Thoughts?
You never saw Tropic Thunder?
I've never seen Tropic Thunder.
John.
I started watching it, but
Yeah.
I watched it when I was like when it came out. So I was like 10, 11 years old. And like
So-
the extremely fake guts being spilled out of the guy in the beginning of the movie, I didn't realize it was a joke. So
Yeah.
I was like, ah! And then left. And then
Okay.
never watched it
Well,
again.
A, you need to watch it.
I know.
B, it would never work today, which is why this will actually never ever happen. They'll
It'll
never
never
make
happen.
a spin-off with Tom Cruise's character. Even though Tom Cruise totally surprised me, this was like considered his comeback at the time, because a couple of the things he had done before that had kind of flopped, and then he had that shitty divorce. So this was kind of his comeback. He was doing comedy for the first time ever, and it blew everybody's minds because he actually was extremely funny and just put it all out on the table. But it would never work today. Never going to happen. We're never going to see it. So just continue to
Yeah,
watch
I don't
Tropic
get why
Thunder.
everyone's going crazy. I think Tom Cruise mentioned it, but yeah. Anyway, speaking of Ben Stiller, Adam Scott and Ben Stiller talked about Tom Cruise quite a bit when they were shooting. Apparently, when Adam Scott was prepped to run in a suit in Severance, and he decided to use Tom Cruise as a baseline in the Mission Impossible movie.
I mean, it looks good.
Thoughts on that?
Why not? Why not? Looks good.
I think it's funny.
Good for
Like
him.
that's pretty. Like I feel like Tom Cruise is the running guy.
Yeah.
Go figure.
Him,
but like
he and Will Smith, they run more than anybody. They're the runners. Yeah.
that and like Sonic, Will Smith and I almost said Keanu. I don't know why I said Keanu. Shadow is on the mind, but Tom Cruise, Will Smith, and Sonic, they need to have a race. Anyway, but yeah, that's kind of cool.
I feel like Tom Cruise would actually win that.
I think Sonic would. No, Sonic wouldn't let him win. Speaking of Sonic, though, it is Jim Carrey's 63rd birthday. Now, I'm not the biggest Jim Carrey fan. I've liked him in some stuff, haven't liked him in others, but I know that he's a comedy legend, so I kind of respect that. And he was pretty damn good as both Robotnik's in Sonic 3. Thoughts on that?
Happy birthday, Jim Carrey. I've always loved you.
Yeah. Also, fuck this movie. I hate The Grinch. Anyway.
I also hate The Grinch. John, thanks. I also hate it.
There's only, remember,
like it.
just like Blade, there is only one Grinch, and his name is Boris Karloff. So, I'm going to say that.
But Ace
Sorry, Jim Carrey.
Ventura is still the GOAT. Ace Ventura is still the greatest.
I've never seen either Ace Ventura movie. I haven't seen
John,
Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless
also
Mind either.
would not work today, but Ace Ventura is brilliant. You need to watch that.
Yeah. I'll take your word for it. Anyway, so Christopher Ford has confirmed that Jude Law's Jod Nawud in Star Wars Skeleton Crew was found by the Jedi after Order 66. I don't care about Star Wars. Thoughts?
This really means nothing to me, even though I am a fan. I'm so far behind with Star Wars stuff and shows. So cool, good for him.
I think he summed it up pretty well. I mean, okay, but that was pretty clear in the episode. Not sure we needed it spelled out. Is media literacy that bad? To answer your question, Ascani97, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Apparently,
And then the
everything's a headline these days. Everything. So.
And then final thing of quick hits. Invincible season 3 is coming out. I haven't finished season 2, but I haven't watched season 2 part 2. I watched season 2 part 1. I do plan to watch that soon because I really like Invincible, even though I heard season 2 was not very good. But I do plan to watch this. His new suit looks cool. Thoughts?
I have no idea what this is, so awesome.
Really? I'm surprised. I thought you watched it.
No, never heard of it. Couldn't tell you anything about it.
It's Amazon Prime. It's a superhero show based on a Robert Kirkman comic book. It's got Stephen Yeun in it, and J. Jonah Jameson plays an evil Superman.
Well, I do like those people, so
Yep,
and
and
add it to the list and maybe watch it in 10
Jillian
years.
Jacobs is in it too. She plays the character
Okay.
in the middle. Very good show.
Maybe 10 years from now I'll get to it. Maybe.
Maybe with all the shows you need to catch up on.
Yeah,
But,
but I still have to catch up on all the Star Wars.
Yes. Well, you don't have to do that. It sucks anyway.
Well,
But now we're getting into your wheelhouse, and that is
Yay.
Marvel. Thank God, right?
Woo.
And then we can get into my wheelhouse with DC. Anyway, so we're going to be talking about all the stuff in regards to all the news. All the news. I just need to open them because Dan gave me 1,700
news.
links that I can't open all at once, or else it would crash my computer. So
Dan
hold on,
is
I need to get the
leader
links.
of links, the links legend,
And he gave me so many Captain America
little links that could. Yeah. Oh my God. Seriously.
So I'm just gonna hang on. I'm just gotta stall real quick.
links
That's
on
not,
links on
you're not
links.
supposed to see that. Whoopsie daisies. Anyway,
As I said to Dan, gang, these are the most links he's ever linked.
yes.
He just went on
Anyway,
a linking
look,
spree.
Century. Cool.
This isn't, you guys, again, not everything needs to be a headline, people. Not everything needs to be a headline. Who cares? I'll see it when I see it.
Also,
So
hard
goofy.
agree, Caleb, on both points. Who cares about Star Wars? Not me. And Invincible is better than The Boys. Agree.
Now I need to
You
watch
can't compare because you
Invincible.
haven't seen it yet.
No, I'm
You
saying
haven't
now I
seen it.
need to watch it because I love The Boys. So now I need to watch Invincible.
Also,
Oh my gosh.
appreciate
Thank
you,
you,
the name,
Caleb.
man. I'm
Thank you,
glad the
Caleb. You've
background music
convinced
suits
me.
your Space Dolphins.
I'm going to put it on my list right now. Okay, thank you, Caleb, because that's great.
Ray J, I agree with you. Star Wars is on life support. That is true, and I love The Boys. So he was saying season 2 was mad compared to season 1, especially with the break, just ruined the hype. Yeah, that's what I've heard. But I liked for the most part what they did with season 2. I just hate that they did multiverse shit again. But you know, it's a cruel beast. They just kind of have to work with at this point.
It's just a bandwagon everyone's jumping on. It's so annoying.
Anyway, this is what maybe Century will look like. His belt, cool. Don't care. Anyway,
is this because Dan likes the bulge and that's right above a bulge? Is this why we're talking about this?
Maybe
because it's bulge
it's
adjacent?
Daniel RPK. Dude's a bitch. Anyway, speaking of not bitches, we have a very good lawyer to talk about. Charlie Cox wants to keep playing Daredevil in the MCU forever.
Till he's 90.
They're getting ready to release a comic that takes place where Matt Murdock is in his 60s.
He's
so
been
I was like,
in
yeah.
this room.
Okay,
He's
great.
been
We
in
got
this
some
room.
time. Definitely
Yeah.
got some dude vibes here a little bit. Got the robe and the
I love
sunglasses. Hell yeah. But
That's a
I'm
retired
cool with
lawyer
that.
for sure. Hell yeah.
I'm cool. I'm cool
All
with
day.
that.
All day. Forever.
But I'm still like on the fence about Daredevil Born Again. Like for the most part, the trailer was okay. I did
Great.
not like
Wonderful.
the fight scenes. I thought the fight scenes looked terrible. But
The man's
I mean,
blind, for goodness sakes.
Okay, yeah, the cinematographer looked blind too. The editor looked blind without they fucking edited that shit. God damn. I know he's blind. I don't want to be blind looking at this because
I'm excited. I'm excited, regardless.
I want, it's like much like, you know, as I always say, like with the X-Files, I want to believe. I want the show
John
to
Bernthal's gonna be back. Come on,
I know.
I'm pumped about it.
And it
I'm
looks
pumped
like they
about it.
actually have blood in this show, which is crazy. There was one droplet, but there was something. But I just hope that the writing stays like at that level. And, you know, it's, you know, apparently they're adapting the Chip Zdarsky run, and that's apparently a really good run. I have not personally read it, but I've heard nothing but great things about it. So I'm hoping, and I really want this to be good. But again, my friend Jay, I'm like, bro, you got me into watching Superman and Lois. You got me into watching Snack Shack. Buddy, you got to be 3 for 3. He's like, okay, I got you. And so I'm like, you're my lifeline. If you watch this, you've watched the first episode, you tell me it's amazing, and you tell me to watch it, I'll believe you. He's like, okay. So that's what we're gonna try and do. We're gonna, I want it to be good. I love Daredevil. I love the Netflix show. I mean, it's the best Netflix show, although Luke Cage came close.
Oh, come on. Jessica Jones was amazing.
I watched the first season. The only reason the first season was good was because of David Tennant.
Well,
I'm just gonna say that. Like, he
That's
improves
fine.
everything.
Yeah.
But also, speaking of Jessica Jones, fuck Jerry Hogarth. She needs to be hit by a bus. Anyway,
Oh, just as an aside, because you mentioned David Tennant, when I met him at Comic-Con, I had said to him, I love you, but your character in Jessica Jones really fucked me up. And he said, that tells me what kind of caliber of person you are, because if you had told me otherwise, I would not care for you. So he's a wonderful man. We adore him. Everyone.
I mean, we all knew that. I mean, we all knew
Yeah.
that he was wonderful. You've just had firsthand experience.
He's just a beautiful, beautiful man. Everyone go watch it.
Yes, go watch, I don't know, 14th Doctor. Of course, I can mention that. So yeah, but Charlie Cox, I wouldn't mind if he, keeps going till he's 90, because none of us would complain.
Nope.
Speaking of John Bernthal in Daredevil, here he is, the man, the myth, the legend himself. I will say the trifecta of the best Netflix shows were definitely Punisher, Luke Cage, and Daredevil. Those were like the best ones. Jessica Jones, Iron Fist, I liked, but it is very flawed. Defenders was not that great.
Again, you didn't watch all of Jessica Jones. You have to watch the second season.
But I've heard it's gotten worse.
It's on the same level for me as Luke Cage, but it's fine. I love the Punisher.
Yes,
love it.
I love seeing Frank Castle. I like seeing John Bernthal as the Punisher. I thought he did a good job from what I've seen of other Punishers. I think he did something very different, but still very interesting. And he will also forever live on in memes. Wait. No. Wait. So, that's also great.
Manos Time said, I saw someone say if Daredevil can work in the MCU, there's no reason why Battinson, referring to our Pats, can't in the DCU, and he wants to know our thoughts.
That's the most brain dead fucking take I've ever heard in my life.
Okay, we don't have to. Okay, that was aggressive. Yeah, no, I mean, I don't see the correlation personally, but
the reason Daredevil worked, it works in the MCU because that was the intention to begin with. It was supposed to be in the MCU. They just didn't address it because of like studio politics, like the whole thing with Ike Perlmutter and running like Marvel Television, and Kevin Feige didn't like him personally, and he was apparently a jackass. I don't know, like there was like a bunch of studio politics with that. So that's why they were like never really mentioned in like the mainline movies that much, even though the mainline movies were mentioned in, like Daredevil. They like the whole reason why they have that 70s vibe of like a broken New York, because it takes place right after the invasion of the Chitauri in the first Avengers movie. So it's like, that's why that works, is because that was always the intention.
Yeah, and Ray J's bringing all of that up in the chat as well. Yeah, Daredevil references MCU events in the first season. They talk about the Battle of New York, etc. Yeah.
Yeah, so like that was really always the intention. So, meanwhile, there was never the intention. There was not even a DCU when the Batman was put into pre-production.
The Penguin wasn't even going to be a show. Yeah.
So like that was never the intention. So I feel like that's a rotten take because it makes no sense. Like, that's like saying, I can't see why can't like Blade be in the MCU because of the. So it's just like, I don't know. It's just like, I feel like that's just overall dumb and not a good take. But anyway, I'm glad we got our boy back. Hopefully, I don't know from behind the scenes photos that we got a while back, it seems like they're going to be allies, but I feel like they're going to be like rough allies, because I mean that makes sense.
Yeah, they're well, it's going to be kind of like a Civil War thing, right? Where they both want the same thing, but the way they go about it, they can't agree upon. So they'll find a way to meet in the middle towards the end, and they'll be buddies, and it'll be great.
Yeah, because it says right here, it's unclear whether they'll be friends or enemies in the series. I'm just going off of what the behind the scenes was. And John Berthal's return is very exciting, and there's been rampant rampant rumors about him he's getting a continuation in
I can't
season
wait. Yeah.
3, which
Yeah.
is like good but not. I really hope they try to fucking, I don't know, because like season 2, the problem I had with season 2, it's really good. It's just everything with John Pilgrim was fantastic, and then everything with Jigsaw, and I use Jigsaw in quotations because that man was not Jigsaw, was dog shit. Like
Yeah.
they tried to do like with Floriana Lima's character. They're like, oh, let's have her be Marvel's Harley Quinn as the therapist that falls in love with the bad guy. I'm like, what are you fucking doing? And it just didn't work. And then I love how, oh yeah, we're gonna have Frank Castle beat this motherfucker's head into a mirror. And then like season 2, he's like, oh, he's got a couple scratches, a little scar, like here, a little here. Nah, bro, I want that dude to look fucking like somebody like chewed on his
Gnarly.
face.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that was what every decision they made with Jigsaw's character, they completely screwed it up. Like, so a part of me wants them to like bring him back to life somehow because they can. Nobody in comics stays dead. But like at the same time, I'm like, you already brutally fucked this character so much. I'm like, let's leave him dead. So I don't know what they plan to do. I mean, they're already bringing Wilson Bethel back as Bullseye. We saw a bit of him in the trailer, and that makes sense because that was the big cliffhanger of season 3. So, I think I think that a continuation would be good. I'm not sure where they would go, but if they actually take it seriously and he actually uses real guns and is not using like Nerf guns or super soakers and pulling a sanitized MCU, then I'm cool with it. Like whatever they decide to do, John Bernthal has been great thus far. So
Yeah.
I'm excited for what they have in mind. And I know Luke Cage was referenced in the trailer, sort of a background Easter egg. So I hope they all come back. I hope we get another Defenders miniseries with all of them. That would be awesome.
I mean, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, obviously. So, but that's not it. Well, kind of MCU, not really MCU, but we have Kraven the Hunter. There was apparently a scrapped sequence with a planet full of dead symbiotes.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on this?
I mean, we know they try to link everybody together in some way, shape, or form. So, okay, I don't know. I mean,
I don't know how
haven't.
Was the only way
I don't know
could've
how
seen
that
this
would
is
make sense and where it would be. But,
exactly. Like
okay.
this is like, are you trying that hard to make the cinematic universe work that you have to like just grind the movie to a halt to like put this scene? The only thing I could see this as is like maybe a post-credit scene, but like how would that work? Because it's like we already got, I mean, Null was still like a threat, quote unquote, but like I don't know how this would have worked in Kraven. I feel like it would have been.
I'm not sure
I think this guy definitely put it perfectly.
Right.
No one cares.
Either show us or don't talk about it. Yeah.
No one cares. I mean,
or
and
if you're going to talk about it, explain
most...
to us in like the context. Explain to us how it would have worked.
Here's the thing: I enjoy most of like the Sonyverse movies. They're ridiculously horrible, but I enjoy them for what they are. But yeah, no one fucking cares. Anywho, so apparently, Captain America: Brave New World, we got a new trailer. Like, with the movie only less than a month away.
And like they dropped like 6 different posters. Like, what are we doing here, y'all? I feel like too little, too late. I'm gonna see it. People, the latest trailer looks great. The latest trailer is the best one by far. Maybe that's why they had to do all those reshoots. Maybe that because they couldn't give us a decent trailer. I don't understand it, but I'm seeing it regardless. So okay, like I just the whoever they hired for marketing this time around, please don't ever use them again because they dropped the ball a lot and it's just it's looking real stupid right now.
Yeah,
like y'all are looking ridiculous, but okay.
I just feel like they're just, they've really dropped the ball because I think they're trying so hard to like, I mean, obviously like super Marvel nerds are going to see it, but it's like, I can't imagine like this doing well, that well It's just like it's like the runtime is confirmed to be less than 2 hours. So it's
That is
hour
quick.
58 minutes, I believe.
That is quick for a Marvel film these days.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because
Wow.
I think they're overly relying on the old school excuse of like get as many show times in as possible to make the most
Mm.
money. But the
But
problem with it
also,
is
so you did all those reshoots to not even hit 2 hours? Like,
because
oh man.
the rumored runtime was like 2 hours 40 minutes, which I could have seen with how much
Yeah,
fucking times they reshot this damn movie.
that's what
But
I'm
if
saying.
this is I think it's the shortest Captain America movie, which makes sense.
Yeah, by
Um,
far.
but
But,
like guys,
again, I will see it. I know a lot of there are Giancarlo has a huge fan base, so people are gonna come just to see him be the bad
that's
guy.
a ripoff of the Dark Knight Rises poster, by the way.
100%. But they do look good. The posters look great.
Yeah,
But
they do
again,
look good.
why are we getting these 3 weeks, like, come on, like,
I mean, the
they
4DX one looks cool. This looks cool.
they
The
all
really
look
kind of
cool.
butterfly.
That one's pretty sweet,
This
yeah.
one is
That one
like they're like really, hey guys, we're finally,
yeah,
talking
we're
about the
finally
giant
addressing
robot
it.
in the middle of the sea.
I
You know?
know.
Ridiculous.
A little too late, big gang, but whatever. But hey, we're getting another sweet popcorn bucket that I hopefully will get my hands on. I'll put it right back there
Yes.
for y'all to look at every day, whether you like it or not. Again, I'm gonna see it, but
Yep.
all of
There
yep,
it
there it
is.
is. Oh, look how glorious that is!
That's
Glorious,
honestly, that looks really cool. I wouldn't buy
and the
it,
cup too.
but
The cup
like,
looks sweet as shit as
and I like
well.
how
I
it's
can't.
collapsible. Like,
Yeah, dude.
honestly, if I like was making real money, I would maybe get this, even though I will not see the movie. But
It will be
honestly,
mine. It will be mine.
um, I'm still, I'm probably just gonna have to go on eBay for that Nosferatu popcorn bucket.
I know, dude. It's crazy how
Because
fast
the
it's
thing is, I was
going.
gonna pre-order it through the AMC shop, and you can't even do that anymore. Because
Boo.
I mean, they can only do so much, but that's okay.
Yeah.
But honestly, I like how this looks straight up. But like,
So sick. Can't wait. Can't wait to
but
add it to my collection.
apparently Anthony Mackie was very candid about what Endgame was going to be. He's like, Anthony Mackie thought Sam Wilson was going to die in Endgame before Chris Evans told him he was going to be the next Captain America. He goes, have you read the new script? I said, no. He said, you don't know? Being black, I'm like, I'm going to die. Damn.
Oh,
He takes me
jeez, Anthony.
he takes me to his basement and goes, read it. I get to the part and he hands him the shield. And I'm like, so why did you give me the shield? He's like, because you're fucking Captain America. Fuck the very,
I
Chris
love it.
Evans
I
thing
love
to
it.
do. So, I think that's pretty awesome.
That's
But
adorable.
apparently they have a silence your phone PSA thing, like just like Wicked and Sonic did.
But again, Wicked did this to us for a year. They're cramming all of the Wicked type marketing in a month. Like, no, it just reeks of desperation, and it bums me out so much.
Yeah.
Such a bummer.
And all the Red Hulk content that looks like poop. But like, how do these effects look worse than the 2008 movie? Like, guys, come on.
I mean, whatever. Again, I'll see it. I'll probably see it in Dolby even. So
Yeah, that's just
I'm sure I'll
how
like
it
it.
is.
Those bastards.
I mean, like, even if I was still watching MCU movies, I'm just looking at this. I'm like, this just looks like a train wreck waiting to happen.
Yeah.
I feel bad because, like, it's like,
Well, again,
I
the poor marketing, it left nothing to be desired, and now all of a sudden they're scrambling because they're like, oh, we didn't generate any interest at all in this film. Whoops. Like, okay, that's on you, gang. So again, I'll see it. The diehard Marvel fans will see it. The Giancarlo Esposito fans will see it.
That's pretty much it. Maybe some Rosa Salazar fans are gonna see it because she's gonna be playing Diamondback in the movie. And
Which they haven't shown anything of.
We haven't seen anything of that. And fun fact, she's actually Captain America, as in Steve Rogers, Captain America's eventual love interest, yet you're introducing her after the fact, even though he's old and or dead at this point. So great timing, guys.
Multiverse, we can do what we want. Whatever.
Anyway, DC time. Yay. Okay, so this first thing, let's get it done over. Hey, Harley Quinn, that's getting us. Season 5 is now streaming on Max. Thoughts?
I again didn't know this was a show, let alone had 4 seasons out already. So
The first season was okay.
cool.
Not because of Harley Quinn, because the supporting characters were the best parts of the show. And then season 2 shit the bed. They threw out character development for the sake of lesbians. So here we are.
Okay.
Fuck Harley Quinn, fuck this show. Moving on. Anyway, oh thank God. Okay. DC's actual like best character, not the one that DC wants to throw at us every waking second. So an industry executive thinks James Gunn's Superman will be a massive hit. That's what Antonio was talking about earlier on the show.
You and everybody else, bro. Yeah.
But okay, but here's the thing. No, I don't want to allow ads. Fuck you, Variety. Anyway, so we're just gonna stay on this fucking thing because Variety has to be an asshole. Anyway, fuck you, Variety.
Fuck you, Variety.
What are your thoughts on this? Well, according to you, it's obvious, but even then, like, hey, you know what? Considering, I wouldn't. You know what?
It's gonna be a massive hit. It's gonna be huge. 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 Huge.
Okay. I'm just the only reason I'm like, okay, like maybe it's just my paranoidness or like my
because we haven't gotten a full trailer
pessimist. No, because you know, you have all the Snyder heads. You have like
they're gonna go see it just to hate watch it. So it's still gonna help contribute to the numbers. It's fine.
But you also have people that are like, oh, this like you even have the people that are like, oh, this looks like a CW show. This looks like shit. Not even the Snyder heads. No. Like this looks bad.
Once the full trailer comes out or trailers, possibly. It's gonna be huge. My theaters are going to be full.
I want it to be.
It's going to be great.
Like that's what I'm saying. I want it to be big. I want it to be, you know,
it's going to be ginormous.
But it's just like I have like so much. I'm just worried. Like, you know, it's just like I want it to be good. That it's like all of this feels too good to be true, and so like there has to be a catch kind of thing. Like,
yeah.
I like it's just like, okay, seems to be doing well. A lot of people like it, but it's also the idea of like, well, you know, we've gotten consistent Batman movies since the 80s, and we got like 2 Superman movies since 1987. Yeah. So there's that aspect as well. So like we're not, and we're just talking about Superman solo movies. BVS and Justice League don't count. Those are different things.
No, I would agree with that.
So I'm just like, like I wanted to do good, but there's some logistical aspects a little bit. Like there's a lot of people that think the Boy Scout thing is boring. Superman is boring as a character. People don't have like that nostalgia.
But again, this teaser doesn't give you that. The teaser that we've gotten so far is not boring by any means. So again, when the full trailer or potential trailers comes out, I think it's going to change a lot of people's perceptions. It'll bring positive attention. People are certainly going to start like looking up more stuff. I mean, Lord knows James has actually been kind of quiet in my opinion lately, but it's going to be amazing, and I'm very excited. I'm very excited.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited. I literally ordered 2 shirts.
Aquaman brought audiences. How many butts in seats for friggin' Aquaman? This has been the first Superman film that I have been excited to see. I didn't even see the other ones in theater. I haven't seen a Superman film in theaters since the Christopher Reeves era. So I think it's going to be gigantic and it's going to be great. And Caleb agrees. Caleb says it will be huge. Yep. Manos says the same people that you're talking about saw Guardians of the Galaxy, and a lot of people love those movies. So
That's
I
fair.
mean, I think it's going to be great. If the movie
Yeah.
is a B or higher, it's making 80 mil.
Caleb says
DC
Critical
24.
Drinker doesn't try to ruin the film. Critical Drinker's a fucking asshole. Fuck that guy. He's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
It's like, oh hey, I'm making movies about how I have dreadful alcoholism. Yeah, you're the winner, buddy. Anyway,
Oh, Manos wants to know if I think that this movie will unite the DC fan base. No, if you're referring to like the Snyderverse versus everybody else, the Snyderverse is going to continue to Snyderverse. They're going to continue to be annoying and obnoxious just on principle. Like, even if which they will, they're going to go and hate watch this film. Even if they love it, they'll never admit it because they're annoying. Or they'll give it its props, but then they'll turn around and be like, but Zach would have done this or that. And you just can't please everybody. But I still feel that this is going to be an absolutely massive hit, and it's going to be crazy. So yeah. Oh, I did see Superman versus Batman, Caleb, just for clarification, but I was referring to what John had said, where just the two solo Superman films. I think I saw Man of Steel in theaters, maybe, but I certainly didn't remember it enough to care, as much as I love Henry Cavill.
There's when it comes to uniting fandoms, the only thing that you can unite something over is how fucking bad something is.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like everyone united with how dog shit Velma was, pun intended, and how like terrible the Acolyte was. Like those are the only two things I feel like that have actually united people. So
so Ray J365 brings up a really good point. He said nobody seems to mention how many of the kids are going to be introduced. This generation is going to be introduced to Superman, and that's where the movie is going to succeed. And I completely agree. I completely.
So.
This one looks totally family friendly. Yes, there's some fight scenes, there's some drama, but it seems light enough, and I think that would also be James's goal at the end of the day, to try and bring as many audiences into this theater as possible. So I completely agree. I think this is going to be a nice introduction to this generation, to this character, and maybe get more people reading comics, maybe get more people curious about the DC in general, the DCU in general. So again, this is going to be massive. It really will be massive. I know it will be. I'm very excited.
So this was the initial article of why would Warner Brothers fire its marketing chief out of its riskiest movie slate in years. So, there was the idea that like, because we were just talking about this, with Captain America, Hollywood, when a movie flops, blame marketing. So that's how it usually is. The marketing usually factors into it. Sometimes you just make a bad movie, like as I think Antonio was saying, was like The Flash. Sometimes you just make a terrible movie, but it also, marketing takes a hit as well. So that's what, it's definitely because I think like they're really hoping for like something. I think they were like really hoping for like something big, and like look how many flops they had last year. Like Joker 2 was like a fucking huge one. And then Furiosa was a big one. They didn't expect that. Dune Part 2 did very well.
That was a surprise because Furiosa was great. That was a surprise.
I think that movie was also kind of poorly marketed because I saw like maybe one or two trailers. I saw like the trailer a couple times in the theater, but it was like nearing the release date. It wasn't like Wicked or Quiet Place Day One or Speak No Evil, where you got that for like every fucking like time you went to the movies, you saw that trailer. Like that was like, that's what you kind of expect. And I think that's what they should have done with the marketing of that movie. But I think the biggest problem was it was almost 10 years since the previous movie. And I think, the amazing like trend and like pop culture zeitgeist of like Mad Max Fury Road wore off since then, and nobody really cared. Nobody really cared about Furiosa. It had a really good cast. It had some really good ideas, and a lot of people liked it. I personally didn't care for it that much, but I think you know, a lot of people were really into it. It's just like it was just one of those movies where it was just like, I think, like wrong place, wrong time, because they also had the public, you know, thing with like George Miller and Warner Brothers butted heads on a lot of stuff in regards to you know, like the there was the money problem with Mad Max Fury Road. I think like George Miller said they didn't pay him properly or something like that. There was a lot of stuff with like that, but that's neither here nor there. But in regards to this, I mean, I hope it'll be a massive hit, but I also have like the pessimism in the back of my head being like, oh, but you know, maybe, you know, the douchebags will win.
Gonna be huge.
I think it's like, maybe it's because like the massive hit is not what I'm worried about. Like it can make $1 billion, but it could also fucking suck. Like look at Transformers 4 and 5; those made $1 billion, and those movies are terrible. So you know, there's also that I'm kind of worried about. So it's like I don't really care about like the money. Like I mean, I care about the money. I hope it gets $2 billion. But there's also to be like, oh, it can make $2 billion, but it could also like fucking suck dicks. So like, that's kind of the worried part as well. But yeah, I so apparently Manos saw
Manos, why didn't you listen to me? I warned you.
Yeah, it's just like it's funny that seeing like the Superman trailer before Baby Girl. Oh my god, what audience are you trying to get with that?
I did warn you, Manos. I did warn you guys. Oh boy, sorry for that. But hey, you got to see the trailer, so that's cool.
With Disney, though, the thing, because Caleb is saying Disney 2023 Disney only had one financial film. The thing is about Disney, they don't really give a flying fuck if a movie flops or not, because one, they've also had like 10, 15 years of MCU. I had to think about that for a second. About 15, 16, 17 years of movies to back up that shit. So like. They don't really care, and then they have the parks. Disney does not give a flying fuck if something flops because they have the parks to ride back.
No, 100%. They're gonna sell all the toys. They're gonna get people to ride all the rides. They
merchandise, the like
hot dog,
$400 hot dog, whatever it is. They're gonna get that money. So it's so like Disney doesn't matter. Like they can tank Star Wars, they can tank Marvel. It doesn't matter. They're still gonna make money. So they could lose like $1 billion trillion tomorrow and it won't matter. So like
exactly.
It's I understand that's not what you were saying, Caleb, and I don't mean to like shit on you or anything like that, but like because I know you were like talking about in relation to the super stuff, but it's like Disney is so different because they're such a huge conglomerate now of like so many different companies and franchises and IPs that it just doesn't matter. Meanwhile, DC Studios is its own little kind of thing. Yes, it's under WB, but it's like DC has been in kind of a shit state for a while and outside of the Batman. So it's like, I mean, this is a lot of people like Creature Commandos, a lot of people like the Penguin. So that's a good, place to be, even though we have had a lot of bullshit with, the Batman directors not shutting up or not talking enough. And then you have, some flops here and there and all that. So it's a whole bunch of stuff. It's just like, I want this to do good. I want it to be good. And,
Yeah. No, and again, I can understand. I mean, please, we've been burnt in the past, so I can understand your hesitance, but it's gonna listen. If fucking Aquaman can be such a massive hit, this is gonna be bananas, bananas.
But going from Superman to his cousin, apparently, fuck Deadline, fucking get out of here. God damn, I don't fucking care. Anyway, I'm trying to I had a perfect segue and you fucking fuck you, Deadline.
They sure did. Fuck you right up.
David Krumholtz, famously and recently in Oppenheimer, and Emily Beecham joined Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow as the parents of Kara Zor-El. Awesome. Great.
Hooray.
What are your thoughts on this one?
I mean, I'm not that familiar with Emily. David, I love him, but he can't do anything without trying to like put like a comedic edge to things. Whereas I feel like any like parents from Krypton are like supposed to be like mad serious and like, so I don't know, like I don't know if I want like a jokey dad walking around like like this is no, like we're in some serious times, serious decisions need to be made. The world is
Especially if they
ending,
get
what have
fucking
you.
killed, you know? Damn,
I
look how cool
mean,
he looks there.
like that's fine if he wants to play like some drug dealer or something, that's a good look. But again, I don't I'm not sure where we're going. But again, he's gonna try and put a comedic spin with that face. So it's like, doesn't work.
I
But
don't know. I mean,
I love
Oppenheimer
him. I
was
do
pretty
love him. Believe me, I love him.
Oppenheimer was
But
pretty serious. He was pretty serious in that. So,
yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, we'll
It's an
see.
it's definitely an interesting, thing to go with. I'm not as familiar with Beecham. Maybe I know you said
No,
that she was in Cruella or something, which makes sense
I did not. I think
because
Dan made that comment.
Dan
But
did.
okay.
But yeah, she
I
was
mean, she
in.
definitely looks like she could be, so that
Oh, she
makes
was
sense.
into the Badlands. I've heard great things about that show.
Okay,
But yeah, I know
cool.
she was in Cruella because I mean that makes sense because Craig Gillespie directed that. So bringing in another actor he's worked
Yeah.
with makes
Well, again,
sense.
Manos, thank you for all your comments tonight. Manos is saying, what versions of the parents will it be? Because in the comic, he remembers them having a very sad moment, which again, is historically, given what we know about the demise of their planet, I would expect it to be. So I guess we'll see. But again, I do love him, so cool, good for
Oh, and
him.
she
I'm
was
glad
in
he's a part of the thing.
1899. That's the other thing that
Okay,
Dan said.
okay.
Okay, so
So, cool.
it
Good for
looks
them.
like yeah they haven't
Guess we'll see what happens.
talked a bunch about like the specific. It's just Zor-El and whoever the fuck his wife is. I don't
And
know
also
who.
the picture they use, like, I can't take that seriously. I just can't. So, okay.
I mean, yeah, although ironically he's rocking the Lobo mustache, so there is that.
Yeah,
So that's kind of
exactly.
funny. But I may be wrong, but when was the last time we had a Supergirl origin story? The CW just made a female version of Superman. It was technically the Helen Slater film back in 1983, 4. That was the last time, and that was based on the Silver Age version, obviously, because that was the only one out at the time. Well, the Bronze Age, but that version where she was from Argo City, and they had to get like this dodecahedron or something like that was going to power the city, and you know so she had to go get it, and then like Faye Dunaway took it and she had to get it back, and she was in a school for some reason, like, oh, my entire family's dying right now, but I need to play schoolgirl right now. Bad movie, but I believe Laura Vandervoort's version in Smallville, we got some tidbits here and there with her backstory. But yeah, and then as you said, CW was just like they got the backstory for the most part right, but it was just like, oh, look at all this stuff that makes Supergirl an actual interesting and unique character.
Yeah.
Get rid of that. Make her female Superman.
Well, Miraculous is saying that this is definitely the more jaded version of Kara we're getting.
Yes.
So we expect some sadness is going to unfold.
Yeah,
And again,
I mean,
if that's given the story that their planet imploding or what have you, I mean, yeah.
yeah. I mean, Lenny was describing the comic because both Dan and I we were both aware of the Argo City version where it was like a chunk that was like flying on that got, was sent out after like Krypton exploded, and it was still a living part of Krypton. But then there was also the version where she got sent off of Krypton at the same time as Clark. So
Right.
And Dan was like, what if they do like a combination of that? And Lenny just kept saying in the chat, that's literally what Women of Tomorrow is fucking saying, guys. You have to read the book. And I'm like, okay, damn. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Well, and this is one of the few times that we're going to get like an origin story since James keeps saying we're not doing those. So I mean, I'm looking forward to it. Again, I really don't know much about Supergirl other than, my own impression is that she's just a female version from Superman. So I'm looking forward to
Yeah.
educating myself more on her character for sure.
From what I know of the book it's based on, it's very much like a True Grit kind of story where it's like a Crumb of the Yellow Hills, what Matthias Schoenaerts is playing in the film. He kills this girl's dad, very True Grit, and named Ruthie, and like Ruthie's trying to find a bounty hunter, and one of the bounty hunters that she finds, it was originally supposed to be Lobo, but they said no, you can't use Lobo, so they just inserted another like random character. So she's trying to find someone who will help her on her quest to kill her dad, or kill the person who killed her dad for vengeance. And she comes across Supergirl, who wanted to go to a red planet for her 21st birthday so that she could drink and get drunk. So that's the whole thing. It's essentially True Grit in space. Like that's the vibe of the comic that specifically this is based on. So it is Tom King though, so I don't know how good it'll be, but maybe I'll finally read it. Maybe it'll be the one thing I like from Tom King outside of Visions. Visions was good, but that was Marvel, so that's different. But yeah, that's very weird. Tom King is under my bed, Caleb. Just hold on to good comics and just pray to Alex Ross, and maybe he'll go away. So just like, I'm praying for you, buddy. But yeah, I mean that's understandable, because Kevin Davis was like, well, even if they're good films, they have to make profit. Superman, I feel like, is more for sure because he's the more identifiable character. Supergirl's a little uneasy because we just got a different version 2 years ago. Well, when the movie comes out, it'll be 3 years ago. So there's that bit, and Supergirl hasn't been so popular that, I think they're just going to ride on the fact that, like, okay, we made a good movie. Hopefully people will go see it because of that.
Yeah.
But we did get a little bit, and I know Lenny will be happy because she loves her Supergirl news. Now we just need to get some Paradise Lost stuff, because that's the other thing Lenny is loving on is the Paradise Lost stuff, and I'm excited for that. So
yeah,
this is definitely we got some good, interesting news in regards
absolutely.
today for DC and Marvel and all this other shit. Yeah, maybe not Harley Quinn. Nobody gives a fuck about Harley Quinn.
No.
But yeah, sorry that I was not into it with the chat, guys, but yeah, today was a good day for a lot of stuff. Unfortunately, sad news, good news, bad news, all the different types of news. But that is pretty much it for today. I know again, apologies for not interacting much when I'm hosting. I'm just like all focused on, okay, am I doing this right? Okay, I got to do this
on mission,
right.
guys. He's on mission.
I'm on a mission, but thank you guys, Ray J, the main man, Miraculous, Caleb, Antonio,
Manos,
Ray
Kevin,
J, Enterprising,
TC24. Yeah,
TC24, Kevin Davis, Terrence Hutchins. I don't think we've seen you before. Wear the Cape, you're newer. So thank you guys. And that's mostly it. If there's anybody else I missed, I apologize. But thank you all for watching, and make sure to like. And because there's 11 likes, yet 27 people are watching.
Come on, gang.
Up those likes.
Smash those likes.
But make sure to comment if you're, we're gonna try and bring fan comments back. I'll probably be annoying with Dan about it. Like, hey, Dan, bring the fan comments back. Like, come on now. They want to see the fan comments. It's an incentive for you guys to comment more on the video, so then you can see yourself in a future episode. Mainly Jay Kelly, because we haven't seen him in a while. So, he's probably mad that I keep shitting on Tom King. But make sure to subscribe. Not all of you are subscribed. I know it's annoying that we say this every time, but once you subscribe, we'll stop saying it. We'll just say it to the people that aren't subscribed. So
That's right.
It'll be fine.
Yeah.
But thank you all very much for watching, and we will be seeing you next week for another DCU Daily, another MCU Weekly, another Oh So Curious, but until then, we'll see you all later. bat nipples.